You know what was the perception of China before it really became cool to like China? You know, the time before all the trains that could go through buildings, Chinese cars, Chinese robots, dumplings or whatever. Well, it was known for quite literally making shit. Things that were stupidly cheap but will last you for a total of a month if you're lucky. It was the enemy of the West, authoritarian, polluted. They eat monkeys or something like that, but they were really good at making cheap stuff for us, right? Bunch of warehouses, sweaty factories where people are making your Jordans for minimum wage. So they were not all that bad for us. And Western countries, they loved this shit. They realized they could shift all of their manufacturing and productions to China and make a ton of money because they don't have to pay those Chinese like they would pay a German or an American worker. So for many German firms, China initially looked like the perfect partner. These German companies would sell a ton of really advanced stuff to China, and China bought it. Fast forward to 20 years later, Germany now runs a goods trade deficit with China, meaning that Germany imports more stuff from China than it exports to China, something that would have been unthinkable 20 years ago. But 20 years ago is a lot of time, and our perception of China has obviously changed. So, what the hell happened? Well, let me tell you something. China did something totally unthinkable. They heavily invested in their own people and national industries at a time when Western companies did not want to pay a fair wage to their workers and did not think twice about shifting all their manufacturing to China. Now, Germany is not at a very good place. German infrastructure, which used to be one of the best in Europe, is on the decline. What is definitely not on the decline is the far-right party on the rise, being led by a lesbian who is dating a lesbian Sri Lankan woman. Did I mention she's a lesbian? But putting that aside, right? The actual economy used to be best in all of Europe. Now it's losing 10,000 jobs every month. And the industrial output has declined around 10% between 2022 and early 2026. And now China is fully in the game of obliterating the German economy. And while Germany is not going to collapse anytime soon, it should absolutely be worried. This is the story of how China absolutely mogged Germany. Hey there, before we continue the video, I would really appreciate if you like and subscribe to the channel as it really helps me out. Thank you. To understand the German economy, you need to get yourself familiarized with this word, Mittelstand. It sounds very German and is probably pronounced in a very German way as well.
Mittelstand.
When translated, it literally means middle class. It has existed for centuries and is a distinct group of merchants and businessmen who were in between the rich aristocratic class and the working class in the German socio-economic ladder. It is usually a family-run business with a good chance that it has existed for generations, usually employing less than 500 employees and located in small German towns. And the reason why these businesses are so special and unique is because they have perfected making a very specific thing incredibly well. It can be incredibly advanced industrial lasers, air compressors to industrial robots. This one in particular has a majority Chinese ownership right now. Yikes. Over the centuries, it has basically helped build pretty much of the German economy that we know as of now. Today, over 99% of all the German firms are classified as Mittelstand, and the rest 0.2% are the larger and more well-known companies like BMW or Mercedes. So how does it work, right? The Mittelstand supplies large manufacturers all around the world with incredibly advanced machinery whose quality cannot really be matched anywhere else in the world. Well, maybe until recently. It also employs a huge chunk of the German workforce, and the point is, it would really suck for this system to collapse and leave possibly thousands of people unemployed. And that is what exactly is happening. Germany, like most of the Western world, enjoyed globalism and free market when it benefited them. Germany, for the most part, has enjoyed cheap labor by exporting its factories and goods to countries like China. But what was very clear was that China was not keen on being a wage factory, a backyard for Western rich countries to dump their factories into. China started to invest a lot in training and educating its people, especially in engineering, and massively subsidizing its national industrial development rather than leaving it entirely into the fate of the free market. 10,000 Little Giants was an economic initiative led by the CCP, giving massive subsidies, tax breaks, and state resources into thousands of specialized mid-sized firms, creating literal little Chinese giant firms. explicitly designed to replace the Germany's Mittelstand, and so far this has succeeded. European policymakers are obviously freaking out at this, right? After enjoying decades of cheap stuff from China and offshoring all their manufacturing base, it has finally come for them. This is one of the many contradictions of the free market. The free market has never existed and never will. It's a joke. Perhaps not a very funny one, but a good one, made by the elites to take as much money from you as they can. There always has been people and overseers who are above the free market and control the free market. If the government encourages free market, then it will naturally lead to powerful monopolies being created, which we are seeing today. And these will buy up all their competitors and basically eliminate all their competition. On the other hand, if the government steps in and introduces trade protectionist policies like Europe is doing in case of China right now, it is obviously not a free market. If someone advocates for the free market, they are either benefiting from the arrangement or they cannot see the great contradiction they are led to believe in. Germany is known for making really cool things, but one thing it is also known for is its downright horrendous bureaucracy. Seems to be a country which wants to avoid hard decisions and will always choose the least riskiest option possible. They actually have a word for it. I don't know how you pronounce it, but it is basically kind of built into their culture, except certain interesting times in history when they went full schizo mode and destroyed Europe. For decades, Germany pursued a political strategy with Russia, known as Wandel, Durch, Handel. I don't know how these things work, but it assumed that trading freely with Russia will foster closer economic ties, and with that, political ties, and bring stability between a democratic country and a pretty authoritarian country. And that has worked well. Really well, right? Germany got a ton of cheap gas from Russia, and the two countries lived happily ever after. Until it happened. Yeah, a pretty war broke out if you're not aware, and Germany's energy sector basically took a nosedive. Also, you have to thank the previous German Chancellor Angela Merkel for dismantling and shutting down the German nuclear energy sector to replace it with wind and solar. But it made Germany more dependent on natural gas and obviously sweet Putin's Russian oil. So, what does the future look like? One thing is for certain. Not very good, right? If you're a German worker in one of these Mittelstands. The current chancellor doesn't seem to be a big fan of taking risky decisions at a time when such a decision seems absolutely necessary. And the German bureaucracy is just too slow to make any rapid change and reform. And I certainly hope that an art student doesn't get rejected in these very, very tumultuous times. Well, that's the end of the video. If you liked it, like and subscribe to the channel to help me out, and if you did not like it, tell me why in the comments and I will get back to you. Thank you and take care.